Hey everybody, I'm AdamHarry with
JayArr.
We're from BoLS, and today we're bringing you the Dune Board Game.
That's right. The spice must flow, and so must the unboxing. So let's get to it.
Let's do it. All right, JayArr, I am super excited about this one.
I am as well.
I'm a big fan of Dune.
And this is, as you guys can see, this isn't a new version of the game. This is a refresh of the original Dune board game, which is still popular with a large section of people today.
Yeah. Gale Force 9 came in, redid the artwork. They actually added some house rules, which we'll check out here in a second, but you don't have to use them. But it's really cool. This is actually an asymmetrical board game.
Yes, there are
6 different factions.
Each of them, as you'll see, have their own special abilities and advantages and things like that. So you can play as the Atreides, the Bene Gesserit, the Emperor,
the Harkonnens, the Spacing Guild, and the Fremen. Not Freemen.
No,
not Gordon.
They're not Gordon.
Yeah, and again, this is just a really fast, quick start guide. Just flip through there. That just takes you through basically the first turn and kind of goes over each faction's special abilities. Again, each faction plays differently, has different, not win conditions per se, but different abilities and stuff like that.
And some of them do have their own specific win conditions. The Bene Gesserit, for instance, can win by predicting that a player of another faction will win on a certain turn, and they can kind of influence the game to make sure that happens. And if they do, they're going
to win the game on turn 2.
Yep.
Boom. No. But yeah, we'll go through these rules in a little bit here. We will show off some of the house rule stuff.
But we want to show off all the lovely, this is a beautiful refresh of the game that features new art.
Yep, and then you get the little player guide on the inside too, which just kind of talks about your faction and strategy.
Exactly.
Yep.
Every faction gets one. It's kind of where you'll keep your special secretive information, because as a great asymmetrical game, they want you to hide some information, and they're the way that the battles are carried out is very fun and interesting.
On top of that, you also have your player cards, which again you get sorted out to go with it. You get your own house rule or own rules and special abilities and all that fun stuff. Spacing Guild, Emperor.
Not everyone is double-sided. Some folks are a little more straightforward than others. Then on top of that, you get tokens. These are your forces.
Yep, and again, they're color-coded so you can tell who's who.
Spice and
spice
stuff.
Must flow.
The spice must flow. Every player gets to turn the battle wheel. Everyone has tokens. You have different leaders. You can see kind of here. Every faction has their own leaders that will kind of contribute to combat, sort of.
And we have the board, which we'll check out in here in a second. We do have a couple of decks of cards.
We do have several decks. We have the Treachery deck. We have the Spice deck. We have the Traitor deck. The Prediction deck. We have
Worms.
Shai Halud, the Storm deck, and then of course the Kwisatz Haderach.
He is the Kwisatz Haderach. All right, so there's a lot of really cool stuff in this, and then real fast, we just like to check always. There's nothing underneath there, but you do have this nice vacuum form thing for all of your tokens and all the accoutrement. Now, the board.
Ooh,
dun, dun, dun.
The board must flow.
Well, it's got to open first, but yes. Dun dun dun. So here's the planet. It is very reminiscent, of Dune.
Arrakis. Dune. Desert planet.
Yes, you do have a couple of things down here on the bottom. You've got and I'm going to butcher this word, Tleilaxu tanks.
Tleilaxu tanks. That's where your folks will be revived after they've been killed in combat.
You also have your spice bank. Unlike a real bank, this one's full of spice.
Then you have a few places. Each of the regions on the planet is kind of broken up into its own little slice of pie, but then there's also different regions within it. There you can see.
Would you say there's regions within regions?
Regions within regions.
Yeah.
I would. There's you can see there's the storm path. The storm kind of moves around Arrakis, and wherever it is, it's bad if you're caught out in the open.
Yeah. Again, really simple. If you've played the previous board game, this should all be very, very familiar to you. But again, the art's brand new, so that's really cool. Let's take a quick look at the rules. Here's the rule book, and again, it's very pretty, full color all the way through.
One thing to note: this is probably one of the most iconic and well-written asymmetrical games out there right now. Each of the different factions plays very differently. They all use the same rules, but they all have different goals, different resources, different advantages and disadvantages that kind of make them all play very differently. For instance, you have to appease the Emperor. Whoever's playing the Emperor gets tributes of spice. The Spacing Guild gets money anytime you move your players around the guild. The Harkonnen have like secret traders that they can kind of
they do.
pull on.
Yeah, the Atreides can make you reveal information or actually look at your hand and do some stuff, or your deck, see what cards are coming up. Pretty cool stuff.
The Bene Gesserit have some ways to influence the other players and kind of manipulate them. And the Fremen are the natives to Dune. They know exactly how to best handle the hazardous world of Arrakis.
Yeah. Again, you saw the components. Very pretty stuff. Really well done all the way through.
I mean, it's gorgeous. Yeah. It's high quality stuff.
Now, we're going to go over the basics. We're not going to cover each faction's unique gameplay, but you get the idea here. But you basically have your standard setup and sequence of play here. We're going to skip the setup for now, just because... I mean, you'll do that when you play. This is not a how to play. This is just a quick overview. So, but yeah, your sequence of play is very straightforward. You have your Storm phase.
You have your Spice Blow and your Nexus phase.
Your Chom Charity phase.
Your Bidding phase.
Yep. Your Revival phase.
The Shipping and Movement phase, where a lot can happen.
Yep. And then also the Battle phase, where again, a lot can happen.
Then the Spice Harvest phase, where the spice does indeed flow.
And then my favorite, the Mentat Pause phase.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thoughts of acquired speed.
Yeah. And the lips of acquired stains. So yeah, it's very straightforward. Again, following through the sequence here, you've got your Storm phase. Again, we saw on the board, it's going to move around the board, causing trouble. You've got your Spice Blow and Nexus. That's when you're going to find out where the spice is going to be generated on the map and stuff like that. And of course, watch out for those worms.
Chom Charity means that even if you're out of spice, you can still get some spice, so there's always a chance for you to do something.
Yep. Bidding, of course, is just it's a little bit more complicated. There's an auction step and things like that, but you'll get the hang of it.
The Revival phase helps you recover after all the battles.
Yep.
You get to bring back your slain forces kind of to life in the Tleilaxu tanks.
Yes. And then Shipment and Movement, again, pretty self-explanatory. That's when the spacers get money.
Then there's the battles, which kind of make use of those battle wheels we saw and a lot of hidden information.
And there's other stuff too, battle plans involved, and it gets a little bit more detail with the
it's where some of the cards that we've seen come into play.
Yeah. And then finally we do have the Spice Collection and Mentat phase. So
it's a ton of fun. Then you kind of get into all the advanced rules where they can talk about like increased spice flow, advanced combat.
Also, forming alliances and bribing your other players is a key part of this game. Moving on from there, this will kind of go over the faction sheets for each.
It talks about all of the different moves and advantages they have, including advanced game advantages. For instance, the Emperor gets Sardaukar terror troops. These are 5-starred forces. They are the elite Sardaukar that have a special fighting capability. They are worth 2 normal forces in battle, and in taking losses against all opponents except Fremen. So
and again, just all the different advanced stuff here. There's a quick synopsis of I think the whole
story of Dune.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive. There's a Q&A section here that kind of cleans stuff up, and I think that's it.
That's it.
Now, again, there are some optional rules, house rules in here as well. You don't have to use these rules. I just want to talk about them real quick because I think this was one of the new additions that FFG actually added.
Yeah, and I think these kind of came from some of the more like popular things that some of the
house rules. They were just kind of like things people put online, and FFG or not FFG, Gale Force Nine, kind of took these and ran with them and added them to the game as an option again. So you've got just a couple of different things here. So 2-player alliance limit, 4 strongholds to win. This is alliance restrictions here. It kind of changes that things up.
And it tells you what each of the rules will do. So playing with a 3-player alliance limit and needing 4 strongholds to win makes for a longer, short game.
Yeah.
You might run into having the 3 strongest factions against the 3 weakest, but weaker players may be able to reverse the stronger players' fortunes and tip the balance.
Yeah, and then, if you want a more exotic game, you can have any number of players in alliances and 3 strongholds to win. This is the original Dune Rules Alliance game. Adversity creates ingenuity. So, again, these are optional. They're kind of neat. They will change the way the game plays up. And as we'll find out here, this game is for 2 to 6 players, so it's got a lot of replay value.
Yes, you can play this game. You can play it as the same faction, and each game will be completely different. You can play it as a different faction, and every game will be completely different. There's a reason it's so enduring.
Well, that was the asymmetrical board game Dune.
Yeah,
and really good stuff.
I mean, I'm super excited about this one. There's a reason people have been playing the original version of this like all this time.
Yeah.
This is an excellent refresh.
Yeah, again, it's not new. It is a refresh, but you see the brand new artwork from Gale Force 9 and all that really cool stuff. There are those house rules that you saw, but you don't have to use them if you prefer the old ways.
Yeah. And some of us do. This box has everything you need to get started scheming for control of the desert world of Arrakis and supports 2 to 6 players. There's an expansion out that adds 2 new factions.
Yes. It does run you about 120 minutes or so. Your first playtime might be a little bit longer.
And it's recommended for folks ages 14 and up, and also humans. So if you have undergone the trial of the Gom Jabbar, check it out.
Yeah, so go check this one out. Is it in stores right now? I'm AdamHarry.
I'm JayArr.
We're from BoLS Souls.
Thanks for watching.
Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.